Welcome back to Young Entrepreneurs Week, powered by Keller Williams on behalf of Property Tribes. My name's Chris Buckler and I'm here with Hasan. Hasan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what attracted you to the property industry?
Okay, well, I guess I'm kind of inversely attracted to the property industry because I was more attracted to starting a business. When I came out of university, I decided I wanted to go the self-employed route and start a company. And I started brainstorming ideas, and one of the ideas was letting agency because I've been involved with my parents' properties since I was 18, helping out, collecting the rent, dealing with tenant issues, and I'd really enjoyed doing it. So kind of like property attracted me from starting a company.
Okay, cool. And your business is about to be come up to its third year anniversary, if you like. Mm-hmm. Can you give me a brief overview of the 3 years, if you can?
Yeah, well, it was incredibly tough to begin with, and the main problem I encountered was differentiation, so being different from all the other agents. The first sort of couple of months was really, really hard. I had a bit of a breakdown, really. I thought, this is going terribly wrong, I'm losing all my money. And so I looked into, I found some people online who said about networking, content marketing, social media, that kind of thing. Started implementing all those lessons, started to pick up about 6 to 12 months in. From there onwards, we've grown quite a lot now. There's 4 of us, there's 3 full-time staff and myself. And we're managing nearly 250 units now, so it's grown quite a lot. So I've skipped over loads there, but
no, that's
so like kind of a brief sort of. Yeah.
No, well, you've given me the next question I suppose to ask you is you mentioned setting up a business is not necessarily going to plan, but then networking, social media, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
If you were to pick one nugget that you could offer to any young entrepreneurs watching, what would that be?
I would say for sure content marketing is the strongest way to reach consumers in the current market, because I think people have been bombarded with advertisements and they just don't listen anymore. But with content marketing, you build authority, you build trust with your consumer, and it's not an instant fix, but over time, when you keep putting content out there, videos, blogs, once they trust you, then they'll give you the business.
Okay.
So I'd say become a marketeer.
Okay, so consistency and marketeer. Okay, are there any books you've read or any websites you'd recommend there?
Loads. I've really got into self-development books probably about 3 months after starting my business. To name a few, even Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich is a really good one. 10X, all of Grant Cardone's books, I've read all of those, I really follow those. I was really, really strong on the E-Myth, revisited, and I was all systemising my business, everything like that. And I think one of the mistakes I made that other people can learn from is you can systemise your business, you can automate as much as possible, but it won't work unless you have the right staff.
Okay.
And I think that is, I was kind of the opinion, well, you can automate everything, but it's really important to pick the right staff. So may not relate to everyone just starting up, but when you do get to the point of employing people, I think look at your systems and processes for employing people and making sure they've got the right experience alongside the right enthusiasm and attitude. I think they all fit together.
Okay, perfect. And what's one of your wins that you feel really proud of, or something again that you can share which will help anyone watching?
Yeah, I think probably the main win was helping an investor source, refurbish and let him manage the property, and that's one in Chatham in Kent. And for that investor, I found the property, put the offer in, smoothed over the sale, managed all the refurbishment and the builders, and now we let him manage it, and it's bringing in a 10% net yield, so I'm really, really happy about that. So to pick one thing, I'm probably quite proud of that.
Okay, perfect. And how would you say you allocate your day then? So is it lead generation, is it process and systems, is it networking? What does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, a typical day can vary from day to day. I think most of it is planning your week. So I like to plan my week and prioritise tasks according to what's most important, and then every day is probably most of the time systemisation and lead generation. At the end of the month, I'll review all the numbers and look over that. But day to day, I could be going out, meeting landlords, generating business like that. So I wouldn't say there's a set day, and that's what I love about having your own business. That every day is different.
So can you tell me about the advantages and disadvantages of being a young entrepreneur?
Okay, well, I think the main advantage, young people are very savvy on social media, and social media is absolutely great for business because it's absolutely free. There's no barriers to entry. Anyone can start a Facebook page, a social media page, putting products out there, e-commerce business, services business. It's just, there's no barriers to entry, and it's easy for young people because they've grown up with it. I think disadvantage would be it's more difficult to be taken seriously. And I think that can be a disadvantage, and also having the necessary capital to weather through the starting part of the business where you're losing money basically, and if you're just starting up and you've got no capital, it's going to be very difficult. So probably those two.
Okay, and how did you get around the looking young and not being taken seriously in your early days?
Stubble.
And if you aren't fortunate to grow a beard, what would you do?
I think it comes back to becoming authority in your area. And when I started my blog, I had about 10 people on the first email list, and I grew it all the way to 3,000. This was before GDPR. So I grew it all the way to 3,000, and I think with that, people got my posts once a week, regularly got the posts. They read it and think, who this guy? He knows what he's talking about, and then they begin to trust you. I think that's how I overcame it.
Okay.
So I think that would be a good route to go down. Talking at events, hosting your own networking event, that's really good as well.
Okay. Last question for me then. Talk to me a little bit about what that looks like.
The networking event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy to do. I mean, I run a networking event. It's private only. It's invite only for serious HMO landlords. But I mean, anyone can start a group. You could either do one of the established ones like Property Hub or whatever, and just this comes back to Key Persons of Influence by Daniel Priestley, which is another great book, and that talks about building authority in different areas. So yeah, I think just start a networking group, really, put it on Facebook event. There's loads of different ways to do it. So
Hasan, so you've gone down a niche with your business. Can you tell me what that looks like?
Yeah, so we've niched with houses of multiple occupation, HMOs, and it looks like we are specialised letting agents in that area. And the reason we did that was, firstly, because in every area, if you're starting a letting agency, there's about 1,000 other agents, and they all do the same thing. So when you niche, you bring customers towards you, and you say, we're different for these reasons. And other agents, they really shy away from HMOs because they're a lot more intensive on the management side of it. So for both of those reasons, it's worked out really well. It's drawn customers to us, and we virtually have no competition. So I'd highly recommend niching in any sort of business, especially in the internet age, because people search niches. You don't walk down the high street and go to the local shop anymore. I mean, some people do, but it's very rare.
Okay, perfect. Well, Hasan, thanks so much for joining us. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll offer more top tips to young entrepreneurs.